Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the program. Here to break down week number 7 in the National Football League. Here to break down the Carolina Panthers, who are 2-3 coming in this game, feeling good about themselves, hosting the 3-3 St. Louis Rams, who came into this game riding a 2-game winning streak. I could not wait to talk about this game. That's why I'm laughing, because this game was chock full of emotion. A lot of energy, a lot of chippiness. And you get that when you get a Jeff Fisher coached football team. I've said that so many times. He coaches his teams on the edge of what's within the rules and what's just a little bit shady. And so from time to time, you'll get games like this with a Jeff Fisher coached football team. There's always an edge to his football teams. And sometimes they cross that line and you got to bring them back into what's reality sometimes. I think sometimes they think that it's a game. And no, it's not a game sometimes. You got to remind those guys of that. And so I can't wait to talk about this game. So let's just get right to it, shall we? Panthers at home at 2-3 facing the 3-3 St. Louis Rams. And what a fun game this was to watch. Bradford throws a pick six on the first throw of the game. As his arm was hit, Captain Munderland is the recipient of this gift that is just floating in the air. And he gets a nifty return for a touchdown. I mean, runs down the sideline, stops, puts the brakes on right before the sidelines. And the out of bounds, I don't know how he didn't step out of bounds, but he didn't. And is able to get up the sidelines into the end zone. Panthers take an early 7-0 lead. Huge play. You're at home. You want to set the tempo. That's the way to do it. You get after the quarterback. Look, if the Panthers are going to win this season, if the Panthers are going to make a statement, it's going to be defensively, and that's what you do. You set the tone with your defense early on in the football game. Big play for the Panthers. St. Louis, they come right back. They get the football. They drive down the field. But they're stopped at the goal line. And I'll tell you what, someone that caught my eye in this game, K'Wan Short jumped off the page at me. K'Wan Short was an uncaged animal early in this game. And he was in the backfield constantly. And he was part of the reason why the Carolina Panthers were so effective at stopping the run early on in this game. Now, I'll tell you what, another guy that was impressive in this game early on, Zach Stacy. And the Rams have been talking about this guy. They've been lauding him all week long about how he has changed the complexion of this football team and their identity, and he's given them a spark. And I saw it. I didn't really see it against Jacksonville. I didn't really see it last week against Houston. I saw it this game. And the Panthers saw it up front and up close and personal. He was giving it to him early in this football game. But those two guys stood out for me in this game early on. K'Wan Short and Zach Stacy, they were both balling. And K'Wan Short won out on this one as he was a part of the group up front that helped stop the Rams at the goal line after a beautiful drive. Can't convert on fourth down. But a very, very good sign of a team that goes for it is if you're able to pin them, hey, try to get a safety. Try to get a turnover. Try to force them 3 and out so you get good field position. Well, the Rams said, we'll do one of those. And they picked the safety. They chose option A. They went with the safety. Very next play, Panthers try to quick hand it off to Tolbert out in the backfield. Rams having none of it. Stop him in the end zone for a safety. 7-2. So they get the football. And on the free kick, Tavon Austin fumbles. And if you're the Rams, you're trying to build some momentum. The Panthers take the football away from you, turnover on downs. You wrestle some of that momentum back with the safety, and then you have the fumble. Terrible way to start this game. Pick six, fumble, stopped at the goal line. They recover the football, do the Carolina Panthers. And it was forced by Eminem. He was huge in this game, and I'll talk about Eminem for some other reasons later on, that being Mike Mitchell. Recovered by Munderland, and Munderland pick six. Now a fumble recovery. He was huge in this game. Leads to a Graham Gano field goal. Panthers take a 10-2 lead. So St. Louis hanging in there. Could have easily hung their heads. after the pick six, after the Tavon Austin fumble, after the goal line stand by the Panthers. They could have been out of this game, but they're not. And Sam Bradford hooks up with Tavon Austin for a huge 63-yard touchdown connection. And this is what we're looking for from Tavon Austin. Find and create ways to get this guy the football. He's dynamic. End arounds, screens, you name it. Get him the football. 9 routes, drags, slants, anything that's quick. Get the football in Tavon Austin's hands. Get some blockers in front of him. Give him some space. Watch him work. And in this particular play, 9 route. Beats the safety, beats the corner, gets behind the secondary of the Panthers, takes the top off the defense, gets in the end zone for 63 yards. But, tripping. A huge tripping penalty on Jake Long that negates that touchdown. And the Rams get the football after that penalty, and they still march down the field, but it's not the same. They got to settle for a field goal. It's 10-5. Look, you're on the road. You're trying to overcome some early mistakes. You can't have that happen. You get a 63-yard touchdown strike. That's just what the doctor ordered after a pick six, after a fumble, after being stopped on the goal line from a stand by the Panthers. This is exactly what you need, and you get a tripping penalty to negate it. Can't happen. Too many mistakes on the road for St. Louis to win this football game. But the Panthers take that field goal that they were able to hold the Rams to, and they use that as momentum, and they drive right down the field right before the half. A beautiful drive down the field. Ted Ginn Jr. big on third down with a catch that sets up a Tolbert 1-yard touchdown plunge, 17-5. And I apologize right now. I'm a guy that if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong. And right now, I stand corrected. Ted Ginn Jr. has been a big addition to this football team. Hey, woo-hoo, Panthers fans, that's my apology to you. Because I said that this guy wasn't going to make a difference. Maybe on special teams, yeah. But he's caught the ball well. He's made some things happen. He's even blocked well. That Brandon LaFell touchdown in Minnesota, who threw the block that sprung him for that touchdown? Ted Ginn Jr. He's been doing everything for this Panthers team. Got to give credit where credit is due. What the hell has gotten into Ted Ginn Jr.? I don't know. But whatever it is, he needs to keep it up because he's playing exceptional football for this Carolina Panthers football team. So they go into the half up 17-5. And this is where things get crazy. They got crazy, son. And this is the fun part. This is what I can't wait to talk about. So second half, crazy. Chris Long is ejected. Tolbert gets a personal foul. The Panthers end up getting a field goal on that possession. They go up 20-5. I'm going to come back to talk about everything. I'm just going to run through this quickly so I can get back to really what I want to talk about. So Bradford, first pass of the second half is a deep ball to Brian Quick, leads to a Zach Stacy touchdown reception, and it's 20-12. We had a brand new ballgame. Stacy comes in, gets the touchdown catch after the huge Brian Quick catch. And all of a sudden, it's 20-12. We're talking about a one-possession game. So Steve Smith gets into it with Double J, of course, Double J being Janoris Jenkins. Then goes and scores a touchdown, and Steve let him have it after the touchdown. Again, I'm coming back to all of this. Don't you worry. Gano tacks on a field goal early in the fourth quarter. It's 30-12. Carolina is starting to seize control of this game, and they're running away with it now. They're up 18. That's 3 scores. So they've got this game out of reach. Do the Panthers. Bradford is scrambling over by the sideline. He goes down on a late hit from Eminem. He gets a torn ACL and gets into it with Harvey Dahl. This is where I stop. This is where I get to the fun stuff. Let's go back to the ejection of Chris Long. I don't know if he needed to be ejected or not. I didn't really see if he threw something. I saw him have his hand up, and the officials were there. They all threw their flags, so he had to have done something. I looked at the replay over and over again. I really didn't see a punch per se. I saw more of like a smush. You know how somebody smush you in your face? I saw more of that than I did a punch, but apparently that was enough to get tossed from the game, and he got ejected. As he's walking out, Panthers fans are acting immature. Look, this is my whole stance on throwing things at players. If that player saw you throwing something at him and had the ability to come up there and whoop your ass, would you throw that at him? Hell no, you wouldn't throw it at him. If Chris Long saw you throwing a cup full of beer at him, it hit him in the face, and 6'5", 270 pounds of Chris Long could come after you, what would you do? Run like a little punk. So if you can't throw something at somebody because they can't get to you, to me, that's garbage. If you want to do that, do it when you see them outside. You see them in a bar, you want to toss something at them, do it then and see what happens. So to me, not a big fan of throwing stuff when you're hiding behind the rest of the crowd and you can pitch something anonymously and get away with it. Try that out on the streets and see what happens. But I digress there. So Panthers fans acting immature. Let's get back to the action on the field because that's where it's good. That's where the action is hot and heavy. So Steve Smith, look, Double J, I'm talking to Janoris Jenkins right now. Everybody else, quiet down. Shh. Janoris Jenkins, step forward. Let me have a little word with you, okay? It's known around the league about the guys that you do have a chance to mess with and guys that you don't mess with, okay? Steve Smith is someone that we call an OG, all right? Man, it must be good to be a gangster, okay? Man, it must feel good to be a gangster. Steve Smith is an OG. In case you don't know what that is, original gangster. You do not mess with Steve Smith. There's a handful of guys in the National Football League that are crazy. And no, I'm not talking about Cortland Finnegan crazy. I'm not talking about I want to draw a personal foul crazy. I'm talking about, I see you on the street, I'm going to punch you in your face crazy. Okay? That's Steve Smith. You don't mess with Steve Smith. Okay? So, I don't know what you said. You probably said something about his wife. And Steve drew that line in the sand. You crossed it. Don't do that with Steve Smith. You can do that with somebody else. Maybe you can do that with Brandon LaFell. Maybe you can get away with that with Greg Olsen. Don't do that to Steve Smith. Nah. Don't do it to Steve Smith. Okay? Straight OG. Don't go there with Steve. Okay? Eminem. You call Sam Bradford his ACL. Okay? You're on the Rams sideline and you give me one of these. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. Okay? You're lucky that the Rams were in, I don't know what was going on there because normally you pull a stunt like that on somebody's sideline and 2 or 3 guys are going to hem you up. Okay? You'd be lucky if you don't catch an elbow or a forearm shiver or something like that. But okay, you're at home, you're feeling a little frisky. Harvey Dahl comes over to give you a little greeting because, hey, look, you just touched this quarterback out of bounds. Harvey Dahl, just like Steve Smith, one of those crazy dudes you don't mess with, okay? You're laughing. You're laughing in Harvey Dahl's face. He's not happy right now. He's got 2 fistfuls of Eminem's jersey. He's got 2 fistfuls of your jersey, okay? At this point, that's when you stop laughing and you say, hey, man, get off of me, okay? You're still laughing. Harvey goes and checks on Sam, realizes Sam's not getting up. Now Harvey's pissed. That meter, that enraged meter went from 5 to about 9. And Harvey runs that 5.240 sprint over to you and gives you a 2-hand chuck. Now at this point, it's time for you to start laughing and get serious. Like, hey man, you need to back up off me. You're still laughing. I'm going to tell you what. If Harvey wasn't afraid of the league finding him, I'm letting you know right there. Harvey's crazy. Again, much like Steve Smith, you don't mess with Harvey Dahl. He's crazy, okay? Again, I'm not talking about yeah, it's funny, personal foul crazy. I'm talking about I'll step on your face crazy on the next play. That's Harvey Dahl. I will rip your helmet off a la Albert Hainsworth and accidentally step on your face crazy, okay? Know who you're dealing with at all times in the National Football League. You are one step away from getting something crazy done to you, partner. And as far as Janoris Jenkins goes, Double J, tell you one more time, I'm going to tell you like this. Don't with Steve Smith. Got it? Good. So, man, was that a fun game or what to watch? I enjoyed that thoroughly. There's nothing like a nice little brouhaha to spice up the Sunday afternoon of football. And look, Panthers got it done. When all that is said and done, Panthers get it done 30-15. They get back to 500 on the season. Huge win for them. And the Rams were feeling good about themselves, thinking they could grab another road win. Panthers stopped them right in their tracks. This is a devastating loss to the Rams. This is more than just a loss. You lose your QB, and now where do you go from here? You lose your momentum. You lose your QB, and Kellen Clemens, you saw the Kellen Clemens experiment last year. He's not the answer. Now you're on the street searching for an answer. There's nothing there to be had. Your season, effectively, of week number 7 is done in St. Louis. And that's unfortunate because you were playing better football, but it's done now. Panthers get the win, go to 3-3. They're feeling good about themselves. And now, like I said, one team was going to ascend from this game. The other was going to go in the opposite direction and descend. That's going to be the St. Louis Rams after this football game. So that's going to do it for me here on this recap of the Carolina Panthers and the St. Louis Rams. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. See you next time.